All right, is it working now? I think it might be working now. Anybody see this? OBS is giving me a hard time. Hopefully you guys are here. It says that I'm live. It says that I've been live for 12 seconds. So, and all of my viewers are going up. And there we go. Listen to the new Childish Gambino song. I definitely will, Tommy. Hey, Sammy. Oh my gosh. It has been a long weekend, and I'm happy to see you guys. And anxiously waiting, for sure. It's a 10-minute late one. And it's not even going to be a full hour, because I've got to go, like, right at 4. But, oh my gosh, I'm so glad to see you guys. This is the happiest thing. Everyone popping up on here. Okay, good. Oh, I'm honestly about to cry. I'm so happy to see you guys. Even though I'm just seeing your names pop up as comments, I'm glad you're here. So, first things first, if you didn't hear the updates about the AP tests are online. They're like half as long as they're supposed to be. They're only going to take 45 minutes. They're only going to deal with the first semester's worth of stuff. And so if you've been anxiously awaiting more stuff about AP tests, that's the big update. I posted a video on my other video. So in the link in the description, there was another video post. I posted it on Google Classroom. There should be plenty of ways for you to interact with that stuff. So that's the big news. The other thing is, as far as IB goes, if you were in an IB class, you should have gotten an email regarding the IB class, and that email should have explained to you how the process works. Apparently, everything for it is canceled. The test is canceled. So if you're a senior, that should be a huge relief, but it's based off of your previous grades on other stuff, and I'm not sure how that works. So you might still be anxious about it, in which case I'm very sorry. So those are the big updates as far as testing. As far as online school goes and whether or not I can give you assignments, that's still up in the air. So here we are. It's Monday, the first week of what I'm going to call actual school, because I'm just going to move forward with the assumption that it's actual school time. The big thing that I dropped on you guys this afternoon, was the big project for quarter 4. The original idea behind the big project for quarter 4 was that we would take some time and have in-class meetings. What I'm probably going to do instead is set it up as Zoom meetings so I can still talk to you guys face-to-face, and then I'll be featuring some of the stuff that you guys film or that you do. I think we might switch it more to a video essay format just because we didn't really get to do our quarter 3 final, which allowed you to do a video essay. So there's some changes that will be coming out with that. I was expecting them to give me clear cut, this is what it's going to look like. I thought they were going to give that to me today. They have not. So this is where we're at. Other stuff. Oh, everything's supposed to be shut down? That's a lie. I don't know what to tell you guys, but you can go lots of places. I know that like most coffee shops with drive-thrus are open. I know most drive-thrus are open. Every pharmacy is open. Grocery stores are open. As far as like people shutting down parks, I went to a park. I took a picture of the sign that said it was shut down, and then everyone just like chilling. So I really encourage you guys to get out and walk around and move around, because I know that you're probably very anxious being stuck inside, and also experience the world, because it's not really as crazy out here as you might be thinking. Other things. Let me think. Pokehana is good and open. Didn't know that. I wouldn't be surprised if boba was open. I know that was one of the big complaints that students were having, was like, I need my boba fix. So if you're hoping to get some boba, that's a solution. So one of the things that I touched on in my video that I want to kind of go into more depth on was this idea of destiny versus free will. And what we're going to be doing is reading a book called Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers. Outliers is about what makes people exceptional, what makes them different from everybody else. So it looks at people like Wayne Gretzky, one of the greatest hockey players that have ever lived. It looks at people like Bill Gates, who's one of the wealthiest people to have ever lived and who created Microsoft. And it says, what made these people so different? Was it because they were destined for that certain outcome, or was it because they had some sort of other thing? My mouth is open. That was weird. If their destiny is what caused them to end up in the place that they are, then you have to look at your own destiny and then say, well, what if my destiny sucks, right? Like, what if your destiny is to be just sort of a burnout and stay at home, and that's the cards that you were dealt? When we look at this concept of destiny, one of the hardest things to wrestle with is that destiny could be bad or incredibly mediocre. And so, like, there are some people who are destined to die at a young age, or destined to end up in situations where their lives never really go anywhere. And that can be pretty heartbreaking and existentially hard for us to deal with. So dealing with this concept of destiny and saying, wow, I really don't know why I'm here, and then saying, oh, well, I have a purpose, but my purpose could be something really, really lame. That leaves us with this other thing, this idea of free will. And free will would suggest that we have the ability to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. It's that same thing that we kind of tore apart with Animal Farm, that we have control over those circumstances. And so when we look at free will, we're telling ourselves, to what extent can I control where I end up, right? I think for the most part, we agree that there's a mix between these two things. We agree that there's like a point in which they meet. There's some things you can't control, there's some things you can. But I would say I'm a pretty ardent believer in what I call the power of pigheadedness. One's ability to just say, screw it, I'm going to do it my way. And that power, that human will, that free will that we have, is one of the most important things that we have going for us. It's when we wield that power of autonomy, of self-control, the more that we do that, the more that we impact our world for good. All right? So that's our general start off for this assignment. Now, it was originally a 12-page essay. It was the big, scary 12-page essay that people were talking about, that you had to write it all out. It kind of mimicked the extended essay that you would be getting if you were in the IB course. And so it was trying to prepare you for that sort of level of planning. It took the entire quarter. What we're going to do instead is explore some of those things together. I'm going to try and get you guys copies of Hamlet and, Macbeth. I always get those confused, so sorry. Macbeth, and copies of Outliers, so that we can look at this idea of destiny and how it's been a concept for forever. With my big long spiel, it's been a weekend. It's been a week. This is, to some extent, the new normal. I was just listening to a really powerful song by Watsky, where the chorus is just repeating this idea, this isn't normal. This isn't normal. Don't let this be normal. He's talking about some of the things that have been normalized in the last few years: bullying, treating people very poorly, the expectations that we have for leadership. And it's a very powerful song. I'll link it so you guys can listen to it. I'll put it in the music channel. But I'm asking you guys, how are you feeling about your new normal? I want to see some of you guys putting comments there, mostly because I missed being able to talk to you guys. So what do you feel about this new normal? Are you freaking out? Are you scared? Are you feeling pretty nice about it? Like, my new normal consists of a lot of this lovely thing, which is Animal Crossing, and it's very chill. My new normal consists of virtual fishing, and why are you saying normal rather than status quo? Normal is an easier to understand idea. Status quo would be just the Latin way of saying normal. So, normal meaning like we've accepted it. I feel like I'm going to end up killing. This is me doing that thing that Eddie Burback does so he doesn't get demonetized. But you might be feeling like you are trapped, right? feeling like you're stuck with a certain family, stuck with this group, right? I feel like that definitely resonates with the idea of destiny. These are the people that you're stuck with. And you're in a room with them, a small house, and you're feeling like you're going to pull your hair out, right? I'm just kind of vibing, right? I think that there's some responses that we have to this situation, one of which is to just kind of be like, I'm not gonna feel whatever that thing is. You're like numb or desensitized. You're like, whatever, I'm just adapting to my surroundings. And you think that it's all going well, but oftentimes you can get to a point where you're like, crap, I didn't cope with the fact that this was real, and now I have to cope with it a little bit after the fact. It's a really great tool that people use to cope. It helps you to get through, especially something that's very difficult, but it's not exactly something that makes it all go away. I'm scared it will be like this for years. Thanks, Kenna. Thank you for being honest with that fear. It won't be like this forever. I think that it will be different, and that's what we have to cope with, is that whether or not everything comes back and we start going to all of our same places and going back to school, something has shifted. Some of our systems that we have in place, are broken, and they're not going to come back in the way that they were. But we have to realize that that can be a good thing, that we have an opportunity now to say, this is what we want from it. That's the reason why, on a political level, people are arguing a lot right now about how to deal with the response to this, is that they're like, I want these people to benefit, or I want this thing systemically to change. You also have a say in that. I want this thing systemically to change. What is it that you're like, hey, this is maybe an attitude or behavior that I was having before that I would love to just get rid of? How can I make that work, right? It won't be like this forever. Nothing is like this forever. How can we live in the right now? How can we live in the right now and cope with the right now and say, I want to live the best life I can possibly live? So far, there is no normal. The constant is a dark room and a bed. Today, I've mainly just been trying to do anything I can so I don't have to feel the constants I'm not happy with. And I would say that that is a feeling that many people are having. That this, I want to do anything to turn off the bad or the scary feeling. The stuff that I cannot cope with, the stuff that I cannot handle, I need to shut it down, right? That is a normal response to trauma. And I will say, this has been a traumatic experience. This is group trauma. And culturally in the United States, we're not very good at dealing with group trauma. Sorry, I just saw Dante's comment. So here's the best way to ground yourself when you're feeling that way. OBS hiccuped. It should be better now. So, ground yourself, feel something, and tell yourself, I am real, and this is a real feeling. Go outside, let yourself stare up at the sun, not directly into the sun, but up into the sunny sky, and say, this is real, I am feeling this thing. Walk around, do not stay in the same place. So all of that would be helpful for getting away from the constant dark room and bed feeling. The more that you can say, I control this little bit, right? Taking a piece of paper, scribbling on it, right? The more that you can say, I control this little bit, the better it is going to feel, all right? At least that sense of control. Feeling pretty good. I've put together the schedule, but I hate just being home. I'm just worried about my grades. Everything paused for grades. I think that worrying about grades is kind of like saying, like, I'm still concerned about the way things used to be. I'm still concerned that things aren't going to go well in this old framework, this old way of thinking. We have to cope with a new reality, and right now that means grades paused. What your quarter 3 grades are going to be, nobody knows. Everything's paused. I would imagine that there should be a tremendous amount of kindness, of generosity coming from your teachers, And I think that will be echoed by the district. So the grades, holding on to that idea of grades, or holding on to this idea of like being judged by those grades, know that you are awesome. You're doing a great job. You will learn the stuff at your own pace, and it will be okay. Honestly, without being too triggering from my own experiences and from what I've been seeing online from other depressed peeps, the worst thing about this normal is that it's so much of the same. Everything shifts. Everything breaks. And yet you feel absolutely the same, right? Everything's shaken up, and you feel like there's nothing you can do to change maybe what's happening in this internal space. Ugh, this is the same exact feeling. This is the same exact feeling I had before. Why doesn't this feel like everything is getting better? Why doesn't it feel like everything is getting worse? It feels like just the same issue that I'm dealing with, and that's in my internal space, right? Suddenly you're realizing that the external stuff that you could blame it on, that you could say, man, maybe I'm just stressed because of these grades. Maybe I'm just stressed because of these systems. All of that thrown out the window. You're like, crap, maybe I'm anxious. Maybe I'm depressed. And the reason I am those ways is because I have something inside of me that I'm dealing with. I have something that I need more support for, and maybe I don't have that support, right? So you're dealing with the same issue, but in dealing with that issue, you have fewer resources to help you, and that is a huge struggle. If we're doing better / coping more with depression, you suddenly push back into isolation, suddenly justified isolation, anxiety, feeling like you have nothing else but to just crash and sleep. And I already posted that video. Just because you've got something in your head that is telling you that this isn't going to be easy, that this isn't going to work out, just because things are difficult and you have internal monologues that are telling you all sorts of stuff, doesn't mean you have to live this way anymore. Doesn't mean that everything's outside of your control. You don't have to be that. You can take a step outside. You can drink a cup of water. You can describe something that's around you, and you can have some semblance, some tiny bit of control, right? I'm going to put this into, and this is going to be really silly, into Animal Crossing terms, right? The best part about the new Animal Crossing is that it starts off so small. You have a tent. You have a tent and very little that you can impact in this world, right? I can't terraform. I can't even build my own tools. But what if I just deal with what I can right now? Just a little bit. Just a little bit at a time. I can't paint the whole picture, but I can deal with just a little bit at a time. There's this lovely story by J.R.R. Tolkien. It's the story of Niggle. I know that is a weird word. Tolkien was British. I don't know what he was thinking. But it was about this guy who has this experience in a dream of seeing this beautiful, beautiful tree that's from another world, and it's like from heaven, right? This beautiful tree. And so he comes out of this dream and he's like, I'm inspired to write this thing, to draw this thing. I want other people to experience this beautiful, beautiful thing. And so he starts drawing just one leaf. And it's not right. So he throws it away and he starts drawing it again. Not right. And he spends his entire life dedicated to this process of drawing this one leaf, and then he dies. Never fully able to complete the entire tree. There's something about our pursuit of doing a little bit really well that grows into something else. And the end of that story is that they take the painting of the leaf, just a little tiny leaf, not even like enough of the tree to recognize what the tree really was, and they hang it in the museum. The most beautiful painting ever is A Leaf by Niggle, right? So it's a very powerful story. You should check it out. It's a good read. But I think that it's a good metaphor for us being able to say, what if I just do the smallest amount that I can, and I just do it well, right? I cannot fix everything. I cannot cure whatever's going on in my brain. I can, however, say, just in this moment, I can handle this. I can walk outside. I can touch a flower. I can go back inside and then be like, oh, I still hate this. I'm still trapped in here. I still got all this stuff that I'm going on, but now I have this memory of a flower. I can smell it. I can see it. It was real. Things are okay. All right. The table dynamic in your class was just starting to get settled in the mid-season of normal. Yes, this is like all of a sudden we're following the story structure of the first season of S.H.I.E.L.D., where it was like, hey, look, we just started getting normal set up, and then like some little things would happen, and you're like, ooh, crazy, shake up, and then all of a sudden Captain America came out, and the whole story changes, and you're like, what? This is a whole different show. This isn't the same show at all. This isn't the show that I was watching before. For the most part, people have said that it gets better after that first season, and that the first season was just establishing this monotonous routine so that you could better understand the complexities after the fact. So that's my way of contextualizing it into what is probably a pretty mediocre TV show. It's hard to communicate properly with other humans. Typos don't really happen in speech, minus a stutter. Well, I would say typos do happen in speech. Yeah, we're set back. We're set back in our communication to a point, probably a few grades, like 5th grade level. If you're a senior, you might be at 5th grade level communication when it comes to this form of online communication, right? What I would say, please videotape yourself and send me those videos. If you feel like you want to say something and you don't know how to communicate it, communicate to me in that way. We'll move forward by having actual meetings via, I forget what the app was, but there's an app that lets us do some conference calls, and we'll be using that format for the final project. So I would love to actually talk to people. I think that you are right. You've lost skills that you had acquired that were very beneficial to you, and now you're put in an awkward place. Maybe use that as an opportunity to empathize with those who never had those skills. When you say, except for people who have a stutter, maybe you're right. Maybe it does feel like having a stutter. Maybe it feels like having some sort of speech impediment that makes it very difficult for you to communicate with others. And that is really heartbreaking. Those people who struggle with those things are able to live lovely and fulfilling lives. So how can we struggle in that same way? It reminds me of a belief that always comes back to my head. I don't know if it's a healthy belief, so I'll put that as a caveat. But it always comes back to my head when I was in college. I was really, really good at writing essays. And I went to college, and a lot of the people I came across didn't have that basic understanding of how to write an essay. But that's what college is. College is like, that's the go-to, the bread and butter of passing your college courses, is just writing good essays about these topics, right? So it's like, if you don't know how to get that one little thing down, you are definitely going to struggle in college. And I felt like I got some sort of free pass. Like, what is going on? Why is it that like it takes me 2 hours to do the work that somebody else took 2 weeks, and I'm getting even better grades and that sort of stuff? And I realized that really comes from a point of privilege, that I had that sort of education that taught me a lot of creative writing, and I was just entrenched in writing as my love and my passion. And so I needed to push myself. If other people were putting in that much work for their college career, then I should also be challenging myself in that way. So use that as an opportunity. Yeah, it really sucks right now. You are pushing yourself. You too can grow. Just like many other people who are in challenging situations, you too have that strength to grow beyond that, to communicate in new ways. Send me videos. Send me voicemails, record stuff, upload your own YouTube channel, right? Those are ways that you can maybe get around some of that anxiety. It's just so tough, because it's one thing to not have something that you can control, but it sucks extra hard to have the things that you did have under control taken away, right? Imagining that you are a brilliant student that's getting straight A's, and you're like, I've got school figured out. This is one system where I'm getting many pats on the back and things are going well. The only thing I struggle with is going home, right? My home life, I'll just avoid, right? This might resonate with a lot of people who are watching this. Because I do have honor students, so many of you guys are like, I do really well at school. I didn't do well with home life, and now I'm stuck at home in a situation that I was trying to escape by going into this stuff. And so the things where I was doing well are gone. They're taken away from me. That absolutely sucks. Absolutely. But it doesn't change the fact that you are valuable, that you are brilliant, that you are able to thrive in certain systems, and maybe you're in a position, you're in a place that isn't allowing you to thrive, and now we have to learn how to adapt our place, right? How do we learn, going back to Animal Farm, how do we learn the tools of terraforming? What's the next step? And not saying like, hey, oh, this might be shutting down on me. That's fine. Hey, how do I get back to that thing that I was able to do? You say, how can I start to learn the skills to adapt to any sort of setting, right? If I'm really, really good here, how can I get to the point where I use that same sort of idea, that same framework that was helping me before, and put it into here? Can I start to give myself grades? Can I start to give myself assignments or structures like that? Can I pursue academics in a different type of context? And can that help? I did it again. Animal Farm, Animal Crossing. What's the difference? I don't know. Animal Farm, anxiety-inducing book about how systems are broken. Animal Crossing, lovely video game that helps me escape systems by putting me in a system that I feel like I can control far more easily. So, my deepest apologies, but yes, you were likely correct. Oh man, it's Monday. I freaking miss you guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm missing the structures that school provides. I'm missing the benefit that has in my mental health, in my ability to get stuff done, understanding how the days work. It's definitely been a shift, right? So we go back to, how can I use this as an opportunity, right? It's not perfect. It isn't the best. How can I use this as an opportunity to heal? How can I use this as an opportunity to grow? How can I use this to gain skills that I didn't have before? All of that, we have that chance right now that we didn't have before, right? It's putting it through the lens of opportunity. I have an opportunity now that I didn't have before. I may have lost other opportunities I did have, but I have an opportunity now that I didn't have before. How can I make the most of this opportunity? You are learning an essential skill. No, Blue, your house burned down in Minecraft. What? Come join me in my house. It's not my house, it's Katie. Katie built a house. Come join us. Yeah, you can borrow this house. But you're learning an essential skill for growing into adulthood. And I don't want that to sound at all condescending. Again, you guys are freaking brilliant people. And I encourage you, you have so many amazing skills that are going to make you ready for adulthood. You're learning another one of those skills of adaptability. Adaptability is so essential, right? That everything from like, I live in a dorm and then I'm kicked out over the winter and then I'm kicked out over the summer and then I have to move from dorm to dorm year to year. That is all a test of one's adaptability. How do I have all of the structures I had working for a few months get upset, dismantled, and then reassemble them in a new context? How can I do that, right? And I can't give you a class that teaches you that skill. Get Bedrock, sucker. Get Bedrock. But you're getting introduced to it now, which is going to give you all sorts of opportunities in the future, right? You're learning a skill now that you can master by the time that people like me, right? When I was in college, I had no ability to master until I was like a senior, right? So again, we're viewing it through the lens of opportunity, right? Why is my seatbelt on? I have no idea. I'm driving right now. No, I'm kidding. I'm stealing Wi-Fi. That's why. What else am I saying? I don't really know what else to say, guys. Like I said, I freaking miss you guys, and I'll be back on at 8:30. It's so expensive. I know, I just bought it. I know. Never mind. I can't solve that problem for you, so I won't make light of it. That super stinks. I don't know what to say. I think to some extent this week I am a little bit speechless that we still don't have some structures in place, and I'm deciding to build those structures myself. And now I'm thinking of it as the lens through, oh, pose for the daily picture. Did I do it enough? Okay, there we go. Done. Seeing it through the lens of opportunity, I'm thinking of Blue and the fact that he just lost his house and he was building that up and creating that structure, and then that structure is gone. In a very tangible sense, that structure has disappeared. And so in the same way, this is the story of Sisyphus. This is a very human story that has echoed throughout lives. And yeah, I'll do the game stream at 8:30. I might not be able to get the capture card to work, so we might just do Minecraft. All right. But yeah, game stream at 8:30. In this, you are learning, you are growing, you are becoming better, you are taking those opportunities. And the structure might be burnt down, the normal that you had might be gone, and now we're going to say, how do I learn to cope with that and keep on growing, right? I'm not the same as I was. I am now far more learned. I have experience I didn't have before. Doing the exact same thing again isn't the exact same thing. You're grinding. You're grinding your life. You're leveling up. Cool kids, what's your question? Hey, cool kids. That's like my go-to phrase, so I'm very proud of your name. I like that you just said you have a question. I'm not sure what else to say. So just know that I really freaking appreciate you guys for showing up, for being a part of these live streams. We're going to set up, again, if I can remember the name of the program, I would tell you, but we're going to set up some conversations, and I want to encourage you guys this week to send me videos. Yeah, you can go to the bathroom if you want. If the potty pass is there, you may use it. I'm going to encourage you guys to send me videos, and then that way I can incorporate some of those videos into mine. So let me see what your experience is like. What is your new normal? All right, so that will be this week's quote-unquote assignment, is to take some time to videotape, to put together something, right? 1 to 3 minutes of just what it looks like in your new structure. Yeah, it's Zoom. Thank you. It's Zoom. Does Zoom work for you guys? Zoom works, right? I don't know what else to say. Usually I get to sit down after talking for a certain amount of time. But no, not today. Not today. I am going to have to sign off. I get to go see my kids after spending a week in quarantine. Discord works better. We'll check out Discord. All right. Head over to the Discord. Join us there for this conversation. Go to Google Classroom. Check out the assignment. If you're not part of the... oh, yeah, but it caps at 30. It caps at 30, but that's okay. If you're not part of the Google Classroom for non-students, I strongly suggest it so you can check out what the assignment is, know that I'm here, know that things are going to be okay, and that I think you all are so amazing, so strong for having gotten through this first part, and that you have the ability, the strength, the intelligence to move forward, all right? I miss you guys all so much. I miss our daily photos, Kenna. I miss the conversations. I think it caps at 50 now. You were correct. But all of this to say, I'll be back on at 8:30. We'll play some Minecraft. I have my server all set up, so that should be fun. And I'm on a PC now, so I don't look like such an idiot. I forget what I. Stomp your feet, clap your lap, da 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 da, yell quack, quack. We have stuff. It's gonna get turned into merch. We're gonna turn it into merch, and we're gonna make money. And it's gonna go to like a good organization that's not me, because I don't need you guys' money, despite how much money I keep on spending on this program. We're gonna get some stuff together. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna mix all of your worlds together into something awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna get Wi-Fi. Don't make fun of me. You guys are all amazing. I'll talk to you soon. End stream.